Streets, Traffic, and Refuse Committee to order.
Been a problem since he's...
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Moore.
Here.
Alderwoman Murphy.
Here.
Alderman Kotar.
Here.
Alderwoman Martin.
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Here.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Chairman Boyd.
Present.
6 present, you have quorum.
Okay. Everybody has a copy of the minutes from Tuesday, June 25th.
We do, sir.
And I'll entertain a motion on the minutes.
I move we pass the minutes from the meeting Tuesday, June 25th, 2019.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Moore.
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy.
Aye.
Alderman Kotar.
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Chairman Boyd.
Aye.
6 aye votes.
Okay, the minutes, the minutes. We just approved the minutes. Also, Madam Clerk, please excuse the alderman from the third and the second due to necessary absence. The first board bill before us is Board Bill number 67, sponsored by Alderwoman Ingrassia.
67.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the committee. Thank you for hearing Board Bill 67 today. It's pretty simple. Last session, we passed a Micro Mobility Fund to put in the permit fees and the per unit fees that the applicants are paying who are either doing scooter share or the e-bikes that are coming. And for some reason, after we passed it, the city councilor determined that he didn't think it was set up legally. So the way that we worked, the first time it would have gone through the board, the money would have gone through the Board of Public Service underneath the bike share policy that they have, and this would create the money flowing the way that it typically is on special funds. You can see the highlighted and strike-throughs on the second and third pages.
You want to go ahead and just explain all the highlights and deletions?
Sure, yep, so instead of, we're on section 3, line 35, in that entire section, instead of the money going through the Board of Public Service, bike share fees would go to the Streets Department and deposited under the provisions in section 4, which is a new section that we added. So the comptroller then authorizes and establishes the Micro Mobility Fund, and the user fees will go into that fund and to the Streets Department. And then pursuant to the policy in the board bill that we passed last session, and then I believe the session before that when Alderman Ogilvie introduced bike share, the money will be used for infrastructure improvements for micromobility projects. I'm happy to take questions.
Okay, Alderwoman Murphy.
Okay, so basically you're just switching where the money is going to end up. It's
Right,
gonna
so
end up in
instead of the Board of
streets.
Public Service making the decisions underneath their working group, it will go to directly from the comptroller to the Streets
That
Department.
might streamline it a little bit, too.
Right,
Not that I don't love Board of Public Service.
Okay, Alderman Coulter. Alderwoman Martin.
No questions.
Alderwoman Boyd.
No questions.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Moore.
uh-oh.
Please forgive me, I should have called Alderman Moore
Not
first.
going to be forgiven, no questions.
He's just sitting back, he normally would
So
say
you should
something.
be
y'all
not
call.
being here.
You're right, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. I'll do better next time.
Thank you, sir.
You have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, I do. So currently, it looks like you're adding to post on the official website the rules. Is that correct?
They are already on there.
Okay, but it's highlighted as if that's a change.
That was not in the original bill.
Oh, it was not?
Correct.
But they are on
They are on
okay,
there.
Gotcha. Okay, so what's the purpose of the emergency clause?
I think because we have money that's sitting in general revenue that we haven't been able to access for this, so getting it in quickly, and then this money is, it's not a large amount of money, but it's going to help us leverage other funds that, for example, Bird and Lime, the companies that currently do scooter share, can provide matching funds for projects, and there's some other grant opportunities that the Bike Share Working Group underneath the Board of Public Service has identified, and so we can use these for matching funds and hopefully get some infrastructure in place to help cyclists and the folks who are using the scooter share.
And do you know approximately how much money is in the fund or that's sitting that needs to be put in the fund and transferred?
As of last session, I believe it was around $35,000.
35,000. That's over 2 years?
Yes, part of, it's more like a year and a half.
Okay. Do we still have bike share?
We do not currently have a company that's undertaking bike share. Lime pulled their bikes out, so right now we just have scooter share through Bird and Lime. I believe there are another couple applications in front of the Streets Department, and e-bikes will be launching soon. Those are pedal assist bikes, so you have to put some effort into it, but they have the ability to assist electrically.
Now, Lime did the bikes, right?
That's correct.
So they transitioned from bikes to scooters.
Their hope was to have both, but the bike share market didn't really work well in St. Louis.
Doesn't seem like it worked at all, does it?
It's working well in a lot of other
I'm
markets.
talking about for St. Louis. That's
Correct,
kind of
yes.
And I know you're kind of big on that. What's the problem with St. Louis and the bikes?
Well, I think through the data that the bike share companies collect and then share with the city, they identified the fact that most people were utilizing the scooters instead of the bikes, and I think there was also a bigger problem in St. Louis and in other markets with people figuring out how to break the locks.
On the bikes?
Correct.
Oh. Well, if it can be done, I guess St. Louis will figure it out. Okay.
Unfortunately, that seems like the case.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to ask one question.
Yes.
I heard you say, where's the funding coming from?
The funding for this will come from the permit fees, so when companies apply to participate in any sort of ride share, they pay a $500 application fee, and then for each unit they have, they pay $10 a year for anything they have on the street.
So the street department and the city has no part in placing the funding, right?
Right, but the money will be decided on how it's spent by the Bike Share Working Group, and so it's money that's controlled not just by the Streets Department. They have an advisory board that helps them make
And
decisions.
there's already funding there. How much is there?
I believe there's around $35,000, but I will get better information for you on that because I want to make sure I'm
That would be
accurate.
all we need.
No, it's not all we'll need, but hopefully it'll help leverage other funding like matching grants.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 67.
I move we pass Board Bill 67 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous roll. Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 67 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you very much.
Next board bill before is Board Bill number 60, sponsored by Alderman John Muhammad, and he did ask me if I want to handle his bill. We do have a signed petition from people on that street. This bill is acknowledging Miss Sarah Tillard, who has reached the great age of 104 years old. She has served for 70 years as a resident, not served, but for 70 years she has resided in North St. Louis, where she is recognized as a pillar of the community. And she's been a longtime block captain and member of the local Neighborhood Improvement Association. So 104 is incredible. Hopefully, Alderwoman Murphy, you and I can reach the ripe old age of 104.
I'm with you, sir. I might get there first.
Uh-oh. You just might beat me there. I might have to give you that one. Okay, Alderman Moore, any questions?
No question.
Alderwoman Murphy.
No questions.
Alderman Kotar. Alderwoman Martin.
No questions.
Alderwoman Boyd.
No questions.
Okay, I have no questions. I'll entertain a motion on Bill 60.
I move
You got it.
I move we pass Board Bill 60 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Second, request previous rule.
It's been moved and second. Hearing no objection to previous rule, Board Bill 60 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation. And is there anything else?
I hope she knows they're doing this for her.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, before you conclude or you get ready to conclude the meeting,
yes.
I have a question for you and the panel and the committee. About 2 weeks ago, we passed a board bill for Norma Jean Brooks. And her name is, that's her maiden, that's her married name. Her maiden name is Norma Jean Bell. And her brother's a committee man of the Third Ward. And he bought, if we paid for it, we got the sign made up and the sign is up, but the children are protesting it. So will we take that down and make that a civil matter? Because they're not together on it at all.
And we already passed the ordinance,
Yeah, we already passed the ordinance.
so the ordinance is now law, and we've erected the sign.
It has been erected and the children don't want it up because it's not in Brooks. And the brother put it in Bill. The brother, the Third Ward committee man, brought it to me that he wanted Norma Jean Bell. So I suggested that instead of them going to court and having a civil matter, that they put it in Norma Jean, parentheses, Bell Brooks. Can we do that? Can we change
Well,
that?
I'm not a lawyer, but as far as how that would end up as a
But they
civil
have-
matter, but we can change that. The alderman of that ward could amend the bill.
I can amend the
It's in the third ward, or it's in the fourth ward?
Fourth ward.
Oh, so, yeah, so you could just amend the bill and change the wording on the sign.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're more than welcome. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, I move the Streets, Traffic, and Refuse Committee is adjourned.